Today we're talking about body position. Now I'm shifting my content a little bit and I'm gonna start to focus a lot of my content back to hair professionals. I started off my channel 15 years ago focusing on providing education to hair professionals. My content has shifted dramatically since, but I feel like I've left a lot of you behind and I only kind of randomly do stuff for professionals. Hair professionals are not critiquing me by saying, oh, where's your hair? I'm not taking advice from a bald guy. Like, hair professionals are about respect and actually wanting information to use it for their life, like their careers. And that's what I'm going to start providing a lot more on my channel. Yes, I sell hair products. Yes, I sell hair tools. And guess what? I'm a hair professional that uses my own stuff. So if you are interested in selling my stuff, retailing my stuff, using it, you can also purchase my products, all right? So today's video is all about body position when it comes to hair cutting. Now, I'm someone who's cut thousands of clients over the years. I've been doing this for probably over 30 years, and I have a bad back. If you are a hair professional, you know what we go through. The feet are always sore, the back hurts, this hurts, the neck. I mean, it's brutal what we have to go through standing up hours and hours a day, moving around. I've actually pulled a shoulder muscle from blow drying someone's hair. Like, do you ever have a client where she's got extremely, thick hair, it's a little bit wavy and frizzy, and you're sitting there and pulling, and one time I said, oh my God, and I tore a muscle in my shoulder. Body positioning is crucial when it comes to cutting hair. Now, I've not only cut thousands of clients, I've also trained thousands of stylists. And one of the biggest things that I see, one of the biggest challenges that I see that's not being done right is actually body position. I will see, and I'm going to demonstrate what not to do, what to do. People will put themselves in the most awkward positions when it comes to hair cutting. My best suggestion is when you are cutting hair, you want to be, and this is the front of the mannequin so you can see the face right here. This goes for anyone, whether you've been doing hair for, 30 years, you've been doing it for 3 days. This is a lifelong opportunity for you to really understand that you need to be in the right body positioning. The earlier on, the better, so you don't destroy your body over time. You want to stand in the exact spot of where you are cutting. Every section, you are pivoting around. Guess what? Guess why the chairs that we use swivel and move? So you can turn the client around you. You can literally do a haircut standing in the same exact spot the entire haircut. And all you have to do is swivel the chair around so that they can fit to where you need to be standing. Obviously, you have to move back so the footrest doesn't hit you, but you can stand in the same spot. When you're cutting something right here in the front, guess what? I'm not standing all the way over here, right? I'm going to have the client, and you make sure you have enough space for them, and just say, hey, look, do you mind if you turn your head? All you need to do is make sure you're out of the way, and the client will then, guess what? If they're facing that way, turn their head towards you while their body is facing this way, and you have enough room. So you just say, just turn your head slightly. And if they say, oh, I can't turn my head, then you try to do your best to move around them. But what you need to do is just have them turn their head so that you have a clear, like this, a clear angle of cutting right in front. This way, okay, you want to cut a fringe, then there you go. Now you're in the good body position to take that section, and then you can cut the fringe, right? Another example. This is the one thing that I see over and over again throughout the years of me cutting hair, is the over-the-shoulder throw, where people are throwing their arms over this way to layer hair. I've seen people put themselves, their body, in such an awkward state where, and I'll show you right now what I'm talking about, is, oh, you see this, you go, okay, that's fine. And all of a sudden, They get down to here. And guess what? They're all the way, just doing this is ripping, it's hurting. I feel like I'm gonna break something, but they're okay with going way over here to put themselves in the most uncomfortable situation and body position when all you have to do is remember, the hair is growing and it's coming out in angles this way. So if I want to cut an angle where I'm going short to long, as long as your elbow can point towards the ceiling like this, you can raise your elbow and cut this way or cut horizontally in parallel. It's this that controls everything. If I'm going down this way and I bring my arm, the minute you drop that elbow, I'm right-handed, so my hand where I'm holding the hair, the minute I drop this, I go over the top and boom, guess what? The hurting starts, the pain. People have been doing this for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Okay, if you get decent haircuts, then that's great. But stop doing that. Catch it early on. Instead, once again, have the client move, right? And then all of a sudden you say, okay, can you turn your head towards me a little bit? Yes, Stephen. Okay, fine. Now the client's head is more towards me. Now I'm standing in a position to where my elbow is in control now. I'm going to comb this out, and guess what? I'm now going to cut just like this. If I want to create a layer that's, following this, all I have to do is rotate, and there we go. But I'm not going over the top like this, or over the top this way. It just is going to destroy your back. So please, don't do it. The only time I ever cut like that, where I'm cutting this way, is when I'm cutting triangular or shorter to longer layers. Okay? Anytime you can lift that elbow up, whether it's this elbow or this elbow, that's going to put you in the right mindset and the right position to be cutting hair. Okay? Another thing is if you're standing behind the client like this and you're cutting horizontally, that's fine. Another thing is when you're going over this way, what you don't want to do is bring us all the way over, and now you're cutting over this way. All right, once again, have the client move and turn their head to where if you're on this side of the head, guess what? We're gonna go shorter to longer. Great, boom. Now I'm cutting up this way. Another thing when it comes to body positioning is how you are standing with your feet. I'm sometimes putting myself in a power stance like this. So here I am right here. I'm putting my left foot front, forward, and I'm bringing the right foot back, and I'm putting myself in a power stance so that I feel like I'm in control, all right? You can stay like this, that's totally fine, but sometimes if you're blow drying and you need that support, right? You need that support, you're blow drying like this, you gotta get yourself in that stance, whether you're this way or this way. But the power stance is something that really has helped me over the years, that as I'm cutting, right? I'm cutting and I feel like I'm very secure. Some people may look at you like, what are you doing? Like, are you about to have an MMA fight or something? Don't listen to anybody, because chances are they're doing it incorrectly. They're standing improperly, right? They're real frumpy. And look at other people. Like, watch when they're cutting hair. They're all frumpy and there's no sort of technique. You look like a machine. You look like you've been cutting hair for a long time when you get those feet moving, right? We're not doing salsa lessons over here, but what we're doing is, we're getting those feet and our body position where it needs to be. Get very mobile. It's really important when it comes to body positioning. And when it comes to hair cutting itself, a lot of times, if you can get those arms parallel to each other, that's gonna really help you become more consistent when it comes to cutting. For example, let me see if I can even look. Okay, so if I'm gonna hold this hair like this, I also see a lot of times where, boom, the elbow goes right down, and watch what happens to the hair, right? Or they bring the arm in and they fan it down. You're gonna have to get your arm in that same position every single time, and it just doesn't always work out. So what I suggest doing is, the more consistent you can keep everything, keep this elbow parallel, right? Keep everything parallel and try to match the lines up. Okay, try to match the lines up. Sometimes the client may be too high. There's nothing wrong with lowering the chair. That's what it goes up and it goes down. That's the reason. So you can have it at a cutting angle. The last thing you want to do is you don't want to have the client to where the hair is so high up that you're reaching up like this. It doesn't make any sense. Just have the client as low as possible so that you can get your arms in a really, really good parallel position. Once again, once you start dropping down, it's really controlled by the left arm. This is the arm, the hand that cuts right here. I'm right-handed. Once again, I cut with my shears are on the right hand. This arm dictates everything. This is what is controlling where the hair is going. This controls the layering. This controls whether you want to remove weight, build weight, all of this. So get used to, even before you start cutting hair, just do some, stretches and movements, get stuff like this, get those shoulders loose, because guess what? Believe it or not, posture and how you cut hair is like one of the biggest things that you need to master before you even start cutting your hair. And through your journey, like I've said, if you pay attention to people who have been doing hair, they're on the floor and they're, in their late 60s, early 70s, and they're done. It's because they didn't have the proper body positioning, right? It really comes down to how you stand and how you approach everything. So that's it. I really hope you enjoyed this. It's kind of going down memory lane here because when I first started my YouTube channel, I had a goal of one person. And I used to say, if I can inspire one person, one hairdresser, somebody who liked what I did, I'm onto something. And then I had that one person, Steven, because I didn't start off doing haircut tutorials. I started off doing, how to give better customer service, how to do consultations, how to be nice to people. Like, it was nothing to do with cutting hair until somebody said, Steven, do you cut hair? And I said, who wants to watch a bald guy cut hair on the internet? Clearly, a lot of people do. So I then started doing hair tutorials, and that's what really, 3,000 plus videos later, that's been my journey is, doing education. I want to go back to, and this is the start of a lot of these videos of me going back to just sharing information with professionals. Because, we as professionals, we don't judge people. We actually learn from each other. And a lot of my audience lately has just been, I'm not really a huge fan, to be honest with you. They're just making stupid comments. So I want to gain back that respect and provide value to people who are actually going to appreciate it and learn from it and respond in a respectful way to what I'm sharing, okay? And I know that's you if you're a hair professional watching this, whether you're just in beauty school or you've been doing it for 15 years. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.